review, and then from the movie review, we went to, the Black family and the disillusion of the Black family. So here we go. We're moving on to the third piece and pouring a little bit of tea. We're going to pour a little bit of tea. So I don't know how much you know about the whole Tim Norman debacle, but Tim is awesome. So Tim's not awesome. It's awesome that you know about it. So Tim Norman is the son of Miss Robbie. I forgot Miss Robbie's last name, but Miss Robbie she was the star of OWN's show, Welcome to Sweetie Pies. St. Louis restaurant that was just a restaurant until, of course, Oprah Winfrey walked in there, her and her girlfriend Gail, and turned the shit out. And so from that point on, Miss Robbie blew up. At least that's the way I understand it. She blew up. And then, of course, Oprah came back and asked her if she'd be interested in doing a show and introduced Miss Robbie and her family to the rest of the world. Now, I covered, and there's a part 1 and a part 2 where I talk a little bit about, I've talked about, the original arrest and all of that when they arrested Tim. So I won't go back into all that. I'm just going to read a little bit to catch up on the background, and then we'll move on to where they are right now. What's going on with them right now. The show ran for, I think it was 6 years, right? And so if you don't know who Tim is the big one on the left with the torpedo on top of his head. That's what it looked like, right? So here we go. I'm gonna give you a little bit of background. We'll move on. I mean, a little of the stuff before. So anyway, the original story. So in August, Tim Norman, the son of Miss Robbie, the star of OWN's Welcome to Sweetie Pies, was arrested and given for his involvement in the 2016 shooting death of a 21-year-old nephew, Andre Norman, a sentence. Norman, I'm sorry, not a sentence. That's wrong. And let me say this too, before I mess up. All of this stuff is alleged, right? I ain't gonna be responsible for none of this shit. I picked it up in different places. So anyway, yeah. So he was arraigned, of course. So Norman was allegedly the mastermind of a murder for hire. If you didn't know that part, again, if you want more of this information, I'll put in a link the part 1 and part 2 that I did. But Norman was allegedly the mastermind of a murder for hire plot in order to obtain a $450,000 life insurance policy payout for his nephew, Andre, his only brother's son, as a matter of fact. As far as we knew the last time, I updated, Tim Norman had allegedly conspired with a stripper and a former lover by the name of Terica Ellis and a music producer turned insurance agent, YL Yaknam, to commit the crime. For more detail, check out part 1 and part 2 commentary on the original arrest, and I'll put those links in this video once it uploads. So here we go. Last you heard from me, Tim was refusing to appear at his arraignment, saying that he didn't want to be seen on television. Right. So they wanted to take him to one of those. His arraignment was going to take place, on video. And for whatever reason, he all of a sudden didn't want to be seen on video. Now, a lot of people talked about that, especially other YouTubers. And they said when Sweetie Pie was doing her show, his ass was everywhere. They could do nothing without his ass. But all of a sudden, he didn't want to be on TV. Well, he didn't want to be on TV for whatever reason. I don't know why. Let me tell you what I thought. When I first heard it, I thought about it several times, and I said, they might have whooped Tim's ass in jail. Because people really like Miss Robbie, right? I mean, I think people fell in love with her, at least a Miss Robbie that we know, right? On TV. So I wouldn't be surprised if when he got there, and then on top of that, he got the big old thighs and all that behind. They probably whooped his ass. He was probably in a state where he didn't want to be on TV because he probably looked like hamburger meat. I don't know that to be true. I'm just saying. And I probably shouldn't have said that. But I did. Terica, last we heard, was trying to be released from holding citing that she had a special needs child and that she needed to go home and take care of her child, so she couldn't be locked up. She needed to be put out, let out on bail so she could go take care of her baby. I wonder what she concerned about that baby when she was over there on Natural Bridge Road, allegedly, helping Tim to kill his only brother's child, allegedly. I just wonder, was she concerned about that child then? Probably not. While Yaknam, the producer turned insurance agent, was out on bail though. While they were, waiting to be released, hoping to get bail, which neither one of them did. While Yaknam was out on bail and doing whatever folk do when they can afford to make bail. I don't know, whatever he was doing, but he wasn't locked up like they were. Ain't that interesting? All right, so we wondered about Miss Robbie. We wondered, and I heard several people talking about it, several YouTubers and influencers, and I had several conversations with people. And people just kind of wanted to, of course, feeling bad for Miss Robbie, praying for Miss Robbie, and at the same time, just wondering how she felt, right? And what she felt about the whole situation. Because again, this was her, we all know how she felt about Andre's death, because that was played out on the show. Excuse me. It was horrible, right? It was horrible. And so the thought that, or to find out that that her only living son was the one who allegedly had him murdered, people wonder, but she was very quiet. So while Miss Robbie had been very quiet during this the fiasco, many asked for her comment, but she had very little to say, at least not in public. But some witness said that they saw Miss Robbie, I want to say, at the arraignment, that she showed up at the arraignment. So that was interesting. That was something. As far as I know, anything, I haven't found anything that Miss Robbie has said in writing or in the public, with the exception of thanks for the prayers. But at this time, I'm weak and can't make a statement. Please keep praying for me and my son. I can't even imagine that. I don't even want to imagine what Miss Robbie must be thinking, or what she must be feeling, because, because also during that issue, during that, when the information first started coming out, they also found out that time that her house was broken into, that there was discussion about the fact that either Andre stole that money out of her house or her son stole the money out of her house. So, that was just a lot to deal with. So here is the update. Here's the update. I'm calling this section TTNY. Tim, Terica, and Yaknam. TTNY. So Tim, since we last hit this topic, Tim pled guilty during his arraignment. It was reported that Welcome to Sweetie Pie star Tim Norman not only pled guilty in the murder for hire plot against his late nephew, Andre Montgomery, but he also asked to be released from jail, listen to this, while he awaited trial. But according to STL today, a judge rejected that request. Norman's attorney argued that he is not a likely flight risk and should be released so that he can stay with his mother, Robbie Montgomery, the victim's grandmother. The judge rejected that request, stating that Norman will remain in prison until his trial, citing the strength of evidence against him. I'm saying thank God, because it was later found out that not only did he have an insurance policy on Andre, it was later found out that he also had $1 million insurance policy on Miss Robbie, allegedly, and she didn't know anything about it. So it's a good thing that the judge said hell no, because who knows what his ass would have done to Miss Robbie, because clearly he can't be trusted, right? Just that he can't be trusted. So it's a good thing that he wasn't laying up under her. You know what I'm saying? Okay. So in her order, Judge Nanette Baker wrote that Norman faces a possible penalty of life in prison or the death penalty if convicted, and therefore he has an incentive to attempt to flee the country before his trial. In addition to the trial at hand, the judge cited Norman's past criminal history, 1997 convictions on 3 criminal cases, right? So this wasn't his first rodeo. Tim had been, he'd been in trouble before. This was not his first rodeo. These three right here. Let me give you this one right here. So that's his. Let me. I stopped because I wanted to show you this picture right here. So here's him and he and Andre. They even look alike, right? But I guess you're gonna look alike. That is his only brother's son. Is that crazy or what? That's some crazy shit. All right, so let me see. Juicy said, oh wait, let me go back. She said, is a young man on the picture who the hit was on? Yeah, that's his son. That's his nephew Andre. Yep, killed in 2016. And if you didn't watch Sweetie Pie, if you can catch one of those episodes, that'd be to see her go. That was a mess. She was a mess behind it. Not only her, but other family members as well. But, like I said, I did a part 1 and 2. So if you got time, you can check that out because I do talk a little more in detail about that. So let's see. So I told you about the history. In addition to the trial at hand, the judge cited Norman's past criminal history, 1997 convictions on 3 criminal cases, including assault, robbery, and kidnapping, as a reason she was choosing to detain him. Isn't that something? Now, Ellis and Norman were both indicted by a federal grand jury in August on charges of conspiracy to commit murder for hire or murder for hire resulting in death. Norman also faced an additional charge of conspiracy to commit wire and mail fraud. U.S. Magistrate Judge Charmaine Claxton denied Ellis's bail, and she's been transported from Tennessee to St. Louis area to face trial. Yagnam, that's him on the left, also faces a charge of conspiracy to commit wire and mail fraud. Yagnam, in addition, faces 5 counts of aggravated identity theft. So here the 3 stooges are. This is Yagnam, Tim Norman, and Terica Ellis, who they say was allegedly was not only a stripper but a former lover of Tim's, right? So she says that she already, or that Tim had told her that he had that his fellas, that's what he said, his boys wanted to get up on Andre. That's the term she used, get up on Andre, because Tim said that Andre burglarized his grandmother's place, right? And that happened I don't know, maybe Andre died in 2016. The burglary at Miss Robbie's house happened maybe 2015, something like that. But this is the chick that he was working with. And this guy right here, who on the left, Yagnam, who was the producer turned insurance agent. That's always funny to me. He didn't turn it anyway. He was a producer on one of Nelly's albums. So he wasn't a nobody, right? He wasn't a nobody. And Tim, my understanding is the reason Tim knew him, or how Tim knew him, was the fact that Tim wanted to be a rapper too, and he'd been working in the studio on some stuff. I heard a bit of that stuff on YouTube. That shit right there. I ain't gonna talk no more about that. But anyway, yeah. So that's those 3. Those are the 3 stooges right there. Here's your girl Terica again. Here she is. Tim paid. Their arrangement was allegedly $10,000 for her to give him the whereabouts of Andre on the night of the murder. And she made a call to Tim, and it was just minutes later that he was gunned down outside that studio on Natural Bridge Road. So there we go with the charges. We got. Let me take you down here. Look at them here. So the charges are Ellis and Norman both indicted, and Norman faces charges of conspiracy to commit wire and mail fraud, and to commit murder for hire or murder for hire resulting in death. Ellis is facing the same. And then Yagnam, of course, is conspiracy to commit wire and mail fraud. Also 5 counts of aggravated identity theft. Okay, so there we go. Now in walks the 4th guy. So here we go. They knew, or there was word of, or there was talk about the fact that there should have been somebody else involved the night of the murder, that it seemed like someone else was involved. That when Terica called Tim by phone to let Tim know that Andre was coming outside of the studio, Andre was shot in minutes. But it didn't seem like, from the information that was going forward, it didn't seem like Tim was anywhere near that he could have shot him himself. They weren't sure. They didn't seem to be sure, but it didn't seem like it. And so that's where the fourth guy comes in right here, because this is all new information that just came out within the past few days. This fourth guy's name is Travell Anthony Hill, or Travell Anthony Hill. The arraignment trial, of course, uncovered more detail and dirt. Many of us wonder who else was involved with Andre's shooting, since Terica allegedly made a call to Tim once Andre left the studio on Natural Bridge Road, but it wasn't clear that Tim was near enough to actually pull the trigger. And even if Tim had pulled the trigger, it seemed that he and Ellis weren't alone in the dealings. Enter Travell Anthony Hill. According to the Riverfront Times, a fourth person has been indicted in the murder for hire case against Timothy Norman of the Sweetie Pie's restaurant in St. Louis. New developments reveal that a man named Travell Anthony Hill, 29, was part of Norman's plot and was charged with murder for hire and conspiracy to commit murder for hire. According to court records, phone records reveal that Hill and an exotic dancer named Terica Ellis from Tennessee were integral parts of the plot. Using temporary cell phones, Ellis reportedly contacted Norman and Hill on March 14, 2016, to alert them of Montgomery's location, according to authorities. Her phone's GPS data showed that Ellis was near Natural Bridge Road, where Montgomery was shot. Riverfront Times reported that Hill was recorded speaking to someone in jail, some say it was his brother, on March the 16th, the day Norman arranged a $5,000 cash payment to him. Hill and the unidentified incarcerated person spoke about the money and Montgomery's death. Ellis allegedly deposited more than $9,000 in various bank accounts. So Travell Anthony Hill was charged by complaint in U.S. District Court in St. Louis on November the 3rd with conspiracy to commit murder for hire and arrested 3 days later. He has now been indicted on that charge, prosecutors said. Prosecutors say Hill participated in the conspiracy to kill Montgomery in St. Louis in 2016, but they did not reveal his role other than to say that another defendant tipped Hill to Montgomery's location before he was shot. They also said in court documents that 2 days after the shooting, Hill was paid $5,000 and laughed about it with his brother on recorded jail phone calls. Travell Hill will join Tim Norman, Terica Ellis, and Wael Yagnam in facing charges for Andre's murder. So, there we go. That is the update for that Tim Norman debacle, because that's what it was. Is that some shit or what? Kind of reminds me of what we talked about earlier in Jingle Jangle with that with Gustafson being Professor Jangle's guy, right? Being his apprentice. Those closest to you are oftentimes the one that get you. So there's a lesson for us to be careful, right? To be very careful, very careful. Let me know what you think about that. Let me know. What do you think about this whole debacle here? What do you think? Let me just ask you this simple question. Do you think that Tim deserves life in prison for allegedly plotting to kill his brother's son, and maybe even plotting to kill his mother by getting a $450,000 life insurance policy for his nephew, and a $1 million policy for his mother that he knew nothing about. They knew nothing about. What do you think? Do you think that Tim Norman should get life in prison? Number one. Type 1 if you think number 1. Or do you think he should get a death penalty? Type number 2 if you do. 1 for life in prison, 2 for the death penalty. Let me know. Juicy said, hell, he cheated on his wife. No trust. Oh, yeah, I believe that. The money of love. The love of money is the root of all evil, ain't it, Tammy? It's the root of all evil. Let me know what you think, please, in the chat. I appreciate y'all. I appreciate y'all for hanging out and spending time with all of us tonight, with all the rest of us tonight. I really, really do appreciate you. Let me know again what you think in the chat. 1, should Tim Norman have life in prison? 2, should Tim Norman get the death penalty? We want to know. Let a sister know. I'm waiting on your information in the chat. And until then, I guess all we need to do is wrap it up. We need to wrap it up. So here we go. We're wrapping our show up tonight. It was a blast. I've enjoyed you all, and hopefully you all have enjoyed the ride. So the first thing we talked about was Jingle Jangle the movie. If you've not watched that movie, Juicy said life in prison. Not the death penalty, Juicy. Catherine said life in prison. I thought you was going to sleep, Miss Kathy. I'm glad you're hanging out. All right, so wrapping it up, Jingle Jangle. It's a great movie. Great movie. If you have not seen it, watch the movie. It's a great movie. It's a beautiful, beautiful family movie that shows, I think, black the beauty of blackness in great light. I really do. My only hang up with the movie is there's no reference to the granddaughter's father. That's my only issue with the movie. The next thing we talked about when we finished Jingle Jangle is we talked about the agenda. What most of us do believe is an agenda in the U.S. to deplete or to delete. Let's say that to delete the Black family unit, right? Most of us believe that is an issue. And so one thing that we can do is to make those around us aware, whether they're younger, our age, or whatever. Make them aware of the fact that they should be conscious, mindful, right, of what they see. Be present, be discerning of the things that they get over media, whether it's music, television, social media, whatever. Beware of the plot, the ploy, and to move accordingly. All right. And then finally, we talked about that Tim Norman debacle, because that's what it is. You all let me know, if you haven't already, if you believe with the number 1 that Tim should get life imprisonment. Number 2, if he should get the death penalty. Meanwhile, you all say a prayer for Miss Robbie. Say a prayer for Miss Robbie, because nobody, I don't wish that on my worst enemy. Okay, so let me see. Juicy says, laugh out loud right past her bedtime. Okay. Miss Kathy said, could turn you off. Oh, couldn't turn you off. Didn't want to miss anything. Oh, I appreciate that. I really do. So our wrap up, of course, is sponsored by Brown Sugar Babies. And Brown Sugar Babies Boutique is the purveyors of our all-natural Brown Sugar Baby Shea Souffle. If you have not tried that, you need to, because it is awesome, right? Also purveyors of artisan jewelry and accessories, Afrocentric trinkets and gifts. Thanks for hanging out with 3T. Now, you can help us build this platform by simply taking a moment to like, share, comment, and subscribe. Thank you all so much for hanging out. I appreciate you. I love y'all to life. I truly do. Please do me a favor and share the stream. Help me to build the platform. I'd like to get, or we need to get 1,000 subscribers between now and February so that I can go live. God say the same. When my family travels to Gambia in February, I want to go live from my phone and cannot do that without the 1,000 subscribers. So help me to build a platform. Thank you for coming and hanging out. I do appreciate you. I hope to see you next week, same place, same time. Let me read these last few and then pull out. Juicy says he needs to really think about his actions and the consequences. Death is not for me to decide. Seeing the hurt on his family's face will eat him up from the inside. I think so too. I feel really sorry for that entire family, because who in the world wants to go through something like that? I cannot even imagine. So say a prayer for their family. Keep them in your prayers. You all have a great night. Thank you again for hanging out. Come see me again next week. I am working on a way to, and I think I'm going to look at StreamYard this week so that I can bring some of you on and we can have some live conversation, some face-to-face kind of, pull you on the side and really have some face-to-face conversation. So you got any information about StreamYard, let me know. Otherwise, have a wonderful week. Take care of yourself. Be good to yourself, and I will see you all next week. And I'm looking forward to it.